My camera was on. I had a stupid smile plastered across my face. 11 months of time zones, spreadsheets, late-night calls. Osaka was finally signing off. We were 5 minutes from closing the damn deal. I'd pulled this together with duct tape, caffeine, and pure spite. The finish line was right there. Then my laptop pinged. Subject, urgent role termination notification. I barely glanced at it, thought it was spam. My voice stayed steady, pitching the logistics transition like I hadn't just seen a subject line designed to punch you in the throat. You'll have all the compliance flowcharts by next week, I said. Smile, nod, pretend. The call ended. Everyone waved. I clicked the email. 2 lines, that's all it was. Your role has been made redundant effective immediately. Please clear your desk by 5 p.m. Paycheck will be processed in 14 business days. Signed, COO Dent. No greeting, no signature block, just digital execution. I didn't move, I didn't blink, just stared at the screen like maybe it would apologize. But it didn't. I wasn't angry, not yet. I wasn't sad either. I felt still, like right before a tire blows out on the highway. Not the crash, just the silence right before. I stood up, walked out of the conference room. My feet carried me to the men's room without asking. Locked the door. Fluorescent lights hummed above. The mirror hit me with all the usual. Gray hair, pressed shirt, tie still perfect. No mess, no weakness. I didn't cry, I didn't scream. I took out my phone, opened an app. It didn't even have a name. Just a gear icon buried deep in a folder no one ever asked about. I tapped execute. No sparks, no warning sirens, no big red screens. But the code started working. Quiet, clean, efficient. The groundwork had been laid for years. This was just the trigger. One by one, back-end systems began to blink out. Passwords revoked. Databases cloned and wiped. Email trees rerouted into black holes. Because Dent didn't just fire an IT manager, he fired the guy who was the entire damn infrastructure. I walked straight back to my office. No rush, no hesitation. Just footsteps on carpet and the low murmur of people pretending not to notice. I shut the door behind me, locked it. Desk drawers were already half organized. I'd known this was coming, just didn't know when. First thing I grabbed was my dad's slide rule. The edges were chipped from years in his garage, back when he used to calculate engine compression ratios by hand. That thing taught me precision, discipline, reality. Next came my son's Little League trophy, bent at the base, paint flaking off the bat. He struck out every game that season and still showed up grinning. I kept it to remind myself that failure didn't mean done. Then the Zippo from '83. Brass, dented, heavier than it looked. My uncle gave it to me before he passed. Don't be the guy that talks, he told me. Be the one that finishes. Last, the photo. My boy in uniform, buzz cut, standing in front of a Black Hawk with that same dumb grin he wore at T-ball. That one never left the desk. I left the rest, the glass plaques, the bullshit, leadership and systems excellence awards, the fake wood frames, trash dressed up as recognition. I zipped the duffel shut and sat. Just sat. Watched my screen. The floor 6 dashboard flickered once, then twice. A red bar flashed across the top. Auth error, credentials not found. Procurement froze up next. You could practically hear the groan through the walls. Whole departments losing access mid-spend. Then the espresso machine in the exec suite blinked red and spat out a half shot of burnt steam. That one was just for me. I leaned back in the chair. The system was unraveling exactly like I designed it to. Not explosive, just quiet disassembly. Like pulling threads out of a suit until it falls off the rack. The door banged open. Dent stormed in like I'd just nuked the building. He didn't knock, didn't ask. Just barged in, face pale, chest heaving. "What the hell did you do?" he shouted. "The servers are failing. Legal's locked out, payrolls." I didn't flinch, didn't even turn to him fully. "You said I was redundant," I said calmly. "So I made myself redundant." He slammed his palm on my desk. It rattled, but I didn't move. "You think this is funny?" he growled. I stood up. He backed off half a step, just enough to betray it, fear, or maybe the realization he was in over his head. It's not funny, I said, voice low. It's poetic. We locked eyes for maybe 2 seconds. Then he broke, stormed out. Phones started lighting up in the hallway. You could hear the buzz from open desks, the rising panic. People whispering, typing, dialing. Some staring blankly at frozen screens, like they were waiting for instructions that had never come. I walked out. Didn't say a word. Nobody looked at me, not one. It was like I didn't exist anymore. Except Tommy. She stood by the corner cubicle, tablet in hand. The only one not panicking, not confused. She looked right at me, not smiling, not scared, just watching. She knew. I gave her a small nod, nothing more. Then I turned and walked for the elevator. Let them figure it out. I didn't go home, didn't even think about it. I drove straight to the riverfront. That spot had been mine since '97, after my first layoff, before I knew what the hell I was doing with my life. It was quiet, no foot traffic, just rusted benches, cracked pavement, and the sound of water hitting concrete. I parked, cut the engine, and opened my laptop on the passenger seat. No company network, no VPN, nothing traceable. I connected to the relay through a hardline hotspot I'd buried behind a fake telecom box 2 years back. Took less than a minute. Heartbeat connection, just like I built it. One at a time, no scripts, no back doors, no kill switch. Just a full clone. Every record, every credential, every log. Their original servers were now hollowed out shells. CRM-dead. Payroll locked out with a silent loop. Every access attempt routed through a honeypot that ate credentials like candy. Finance? That data stream was now headed nowhere, literally. I rerouted it through a dead fiber pipe in rural Kansas. Red dots began lighting up on my screen. Atlanta, Prague, Zurich, Dublin. I leaned back, arms crossed, let it run. Then my phone buzzed, unknown number, plus 49. I picked up. "You pulled it," she said. German accent, clipped tone. "Yes." "Is it clean?" "Clean enough to get me 20 minutes in front of Interpol if I'd screwed it up." There was a pause. No breathing, no typing, just silence. "You lifted your stack, didn't you?" she said finally. "Every line of it. Because I didn't just burn their system to the ground. I built mine underneath it, layer by layer, while they were too busy sipping macchiatos and cutting veteran engineers. That's what they never got. This wasn't revenge. It was insurance. By midnight, pings started rolling in. Singapore firm I'd audited 6 years ago. Madrid startup I'd mentored during COVID. 1, maybe 2 government shells I'd never admit knowing. All asking the same thing. "You taking on new clients?" I didn't answer right away. Just watched the screen, the quiet blinking of opportunity lining up like dominoes. Then I opened a new terminal, authenticated with a 6-key handshake, and started provisioning space on the Ashwick subnet. I didn't need a brand pitch. I didn't need a resume. The system spoke for itself. That night, while the stack hummed and the map bled red, I thought about where this really started. It wasn't the termination email. That was just the match. The fire had been building for 2 damn years. It started the day Dent got promoted. He came in wearing a designer suit and that smug disruptor grin. The kind of guy who calls layoffs talent optimization and thinks culture means beer Fridays. He shook hands, gave his little speech about agility, and within a week slashed my team's budget by 30%. The week after that, he reassigned my second in command, Maria. 20 years in enterprise security, calm under fire, loyal as hell. Replaced her with some clueless 28-year-old with a marketing degree who once asked me if ransomware was the one with the skull icon. I knew the playbook. I'd seen it before. Mark Duvall ran the same hustle back in 2009, pushed out the veterans, padded the org chart with yes men, tanked the system, and bailed right before the crash. The difference? I learned, so I didn't fight. Not openly, not then. I smiled, nodded, documented every word. And while Dent patted himself on the back for modernizing infrastructure, I started building a mirror, line by line, quietly. I logged every access key, looped every keystroke, backed up every damn email he thought he deleted. I knew he'd go too far. They always do. The tipping point came 6 months in. I was working late, reviewing archived server logs, and saw a folder buried inside a restricted compliance directory. Phase 3 review. No one outside legal should have had access. But Dent did. Inside, one memo, just a few bullet points, 5 names, all women, all over 45, all tagged Sever W Cause Q3. None of them had any write-ups, no performance issues. Just too old, too expensive, and too inconvenient to keep around. And Dent wanted it done dirty. Severance pulled, benefits revoked, reputations quietly wrecked so they couldn't bounce back. That's when the switch flipped. This wasn't just office politics. This was war. You don't target people like that and expect to walk away clean. I printed the memo, one copy, locked it in my personal safe. And from that day forward, everything I built had teeth. Not just backups, leverage, triggers, proof, defense. He thought I was an old dog stuck in the basement. What I actually was, the guy who built the whole damn house, memorized every wire, and left a fuse in the foundation just in case someone like him ever came along. So I added a new folder to the mirror system that night. Label Ashwick Alpha. And I started counting days. I booked the suite while sitting in my car. Executive corner unit, downtown view, way above my pay grade. Didn't matter, company card still worked. Dent forgot to shut it off. I took the elevator up, keycard clicked green, and stepped into silence. Just thick carpet, blackout curtains, and the hum of AC. Dropped my bag, set up at the desk. One laptop, one line in, one feed. By the time I finished connecting, Dent was already trying to fix it. First attempt, full system reboot, rookie move. It triggered the recursive loop. Looked clean at first, dashboards loaded, server lights turned green. But underneath, the scripts just ran in circles, feeding back dummy responses while real data slipped away. A snake eating its own tail. My screen pinged. Unknown number, blocked ID. I picked up. "Hey," Dent said, voice tight. "We've had a disruption. I think it's a permissions issue. I didn't say a word. Let him dangle. I think maybe something got tripped during offboarding. It's fixable." "You told me to clear my desk," I said. "So I cleared it." "Okay, look," he said, fake calm cracking. "We're not past the point of solving this. I've got some flexibility, compensation, contract options. You want consulting? I laughed, short, sharp, ugly. "You always thought this was about money." He went quiet, then hung up. 1 minute later, I got a text from Tommy. Dent just asked if turning off the servers and letting them air out would help. I stared at that line for a second, then typed back, "Raven Wake Protocol, Step 1. She sent back a thumbs up. No questions. Tommy was the apprentice I trained quietly, piece by piece, project by project, while Dent kept promoting clowns who called themselves cloud-native evangelists. She knew the codebase, she knew the triggers. She was the only one I trusted to carry this thing if I got hit by a bus. While Dent was flailing, trying to spin up shadow access, Tommy was walking the Raven Wake protocol, one step at a time. It started with access logs. One push, and every system began erasing its trail, layer by layer. Next came the dummy DNS switch. Looked real, felt real, totally fake. Anyone trying to connect would just see a ghost of the old network, flickering and useless. That's the difference between sabotage and succession. Sabotage is messy, angry, loud. The first strike back at HQ was just disruption. This was the handing over of a legacy, just not the one Dent thought he built. Because while they were counting quarterly returns, I was building Ashwick, a real system. Resilient, clean, and this time, mine. No leash, no bosses, no knives waiting in the dark. Tommy texted again. Step 1 complete, ready for next phase. I typed one word, go. By the time the sun came up, Tokyo had already cut ties. Not a warning, not a delay. Just a signed doc, straight to my inbox. They'd been watching the collapse in real time and didn't wait for the smoke to clear. The subject line was simple. Moving forward with Ashwick Systems. Tommy pinged me seconds later. He's in the IT vault, screaming. Legal can't even access basic templates. Perfect. I opened the Raven console and initiated Phase 2. This was the real purge. Deep core level failover, full system erasure, one push to wipe decades of bloat off the earth. Tommy hesitated. First time I'd seen her pause. "This'll erase me too," she texted. "All logs, all projects, even the dev trail," I called her. "This is the point," I said. "It doesn't exist unless it's ours. Dent built a prison. Burn it." There was a long breath. Then, fail command. Entered in. Under 3 minutes, my name vanished from every system. No logins, no author tags, no trailing metadata. Gone. By noon, my inbox was full. Tokyo, Dublin, DC, 2 mid-tier vendors I hadn't even pitched yet. 5 accounts signed in one day. All referrals, no sales calls, just reputation. Online, the shift hit hard. Clients posted screenshots, empty dashboards, broken links. A few even tagged Dent's company saying, "This your idea of innovation?" Then Dent went live. He streamed from what looked like a dark conference room, tie half off, eyes like he hadn't slept. Tried to sound in control. "We're experiencing a coordinated attack by a rogue employee with a history of unstable behavior." I didn't even blink. Tommy, though, she dropped a single tweet. Wrench. No context. No explanation. It exploded. Hashtag Ashwake. Started trending inside an hour. Memes. Screenshots. Tech analysts breaking down the architecture from recovered fragments like archaeologists. And just like that, Dent's story collapsed under its own weight. People didn't care what he said. They cared who delivered. We did. The call came 2 days later. Unknown number, DC area code. I let it ring twice, then picked up. "Mr. Wilder," a calm voice said. "My name's Harrow. I'm with the Department of Justice. This isn't an official inquiry, just a conversation." I didn't say anything. He went on. "We've seen what happened. We've reviewed the logs. What's left of them. You built it yourself?" "Yes," I said. "Every bypass, every trigger, no partners, no outside help. Impressive," he said, not sarcastic, just interested. "Would you ever consider consulting?" "My new counsel prefers questions in writing," I replied. "Send them that way." Pause. Then, "Understood." He hung up without another word. I leaned back and stared at the wall. Harrow wasn't fishing. He was scouting. Meanwhile, Dent was scrambling. He started emailing old employees, offering sign-on bonuses, titles, flexibility. Even tried to bring Maria back, the same woman he pushed out with zero notice. Nobody bit. Then someone leaked a memo. Subject, strategic realignment, phase 4. Beneath all the HR buzzwords and made-up acronyms was one line that hit every inbox like a brick. Initiating sunsetting of legacy voices. That was it, his eulogy. It hit Twitter, then LinkedIn, then the press. A reporter from Tech Relay posted a full breakdown of his language choices with a headline that made me laugh out loud. Legacy voice, the CEO who spoke in obituaries. Within hours, Dent vanished. No press release. No farewell email. Just a quiet leave of absence that no one bothered to explain. I didn't even notice until Tommy texted me a photo. It was Dent's office door. His nameplate, cracked in half, coffee-stained, still hanging by one screw. Her caption, "He didn't even wait for cleanup." I stared at it for a second, then saved the image. Not out of spite, not for the archive, just because it meant the job was done. That morning, we signed our 10th client in 48 hours. No cold call, no pitch deck, no ads, just reputation and a burn trail behind it. I wired the first payout into 3 separate accounts, closed the laptop, and walked out of the suite without even checking out. Bought the brownstone that afternoon. Brooklyn Heights. 4 stories. Rooftop deck. All cash. I stood on the roof at sunset, coffee in hand, watching the city eat itself alive. No boss, no meetings, no one to answer to. Just mine. Phone buzzed, my son calling from base. "You're trending again, Dad," he said, half laughing. "Some YouTuber just called you the Digital Reaper." I sipped. "So I'm finally cool?" "Nah," he said. "You're terrifying." We both laughed. Forbes sent an email. Wired followed. Bloomberg called twice. Everybody wanted the same thing. Tell your side. I deleted every request. There's no side. There's just what happened. Dent popped up again, months later. Smaller firm, new title, different city. But the stain stuck. No one said it out loud, but you could feel it. That quiet HR whisper. Isn't that the guy? Nobody remembered what he built. Only what he lost. Me? They remembered my name. Not because I screamed, not because I broke windows or posted rants online, because I waited. I kept my head down, built something real, and let him dig his own grave. When they erased me, they didn't kill a job. They didn't kill a job. They freed the architect, and I rebuilt the whole damn thing, on my own terms, in my own name, with no leash, no limits, and zero intention of ever handing back the keys.